Welcome to 2 cents short of a dollar, the show where we give our 2 cents and keep it 100. We're your host, that's Motiz, and I'm Rue. Today I want to kick the show off talking about Jaron Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz. What's Vergil Ortiz's nickname? Does he have one?
Not that I know of. I've always known him as just Vergil Ortiz.
Okay, that's neither here nor there. But what I really want to talk about is what is the controversy? What is the drama? Are they going to fight or are they not going to fight? Right? We've seen Turkey come out and say, it's not a charity. He wasn't too prone to Boots wanting to take a tune-up, and the previous negotiations went kind of left. Boots not saying he was going to move up and saying he's not going to move up. Now we're hearing that the contract is signed, but other parties are saying it's not signed. So what are you making of the drama between Boots and Vergil?
Yeah, I was pretty confused because I've seen it in many different outlets saying that, Boots signed, Vergil Ortiz signed to make the fight happen early 2026. But apparently that's not the case because people from Vergil Ortiz's camp are saying that they have not signed for 2026. They originally was looking to have the fight happen in 2025 in the fall. I'm not sure if it was October or November. Eddie Hearn confirmed that him and his team looked to sign the fight with Vergil Ortiz. So clearly someone is providing false information. Someone's lying, someone's lying. And I would hope that this fight does happen. I just don't know when and where. I am disappointed in Boots, right? Looking to move up and still haven't had a fight from a legitimate opponent yet. There are many different options. I don't know what the deal is or what the situation is, but I think Boots and his team definitely got to get it together. I think the onus is on Boots during this time around.
I mean, he actually does have his next fight. His next fight is lined up. It's with a guy like Usman Lima. Did you see that?
No, I have not seen that. So okay, so I guess the fight. I guess now that we know he's fighting, because he's not going to fight Vergil this fall in 2026, they probably have a window to make the fight happen with Vergil if Vergil's team accepts it. But I don't know if they have something already established in the works or have planned, and they could probably run with the idea that Boots ducked them, which they probably might have a legitimate claim for, especially if Boots want to go up to 154 and get a tune-up. But this guy that you're naming, I am unfamiliar with who he is, which is concerning to me.
Yeah. So I guess to add to the confusion, I heard the tune-up fight was going to be Boachuk, right? So it's like, how did you go from Boachuk to this? Right. So it's just very confusing. There's a lot of different stories. And I guess I haven't looked at the Rings page. Have you looked at the Rings page? Have they posted anything about the fight? Because usually they're pretty quick to say when people have signed to a fight.
No.
The Ring magazine?
No, I have not seen it, nor have I checked the Ring magazine's website or page.
Okay. So I guess we can kind of wait on that to say what's official yet. The Usman Lima one that's on BoxRec. So that's happening next. You know what I mean? So I saw that on BoxRec. So it's already scheduled. It's taking place in Philly. So I guess that's his tune-up and welcome fight to 154. I would love to hear from his camp, what happened to Boachuk, because this guy could prove me wrong, right? I think he's like 14-1 with 10 knockouts or something, but I'm just thinking Boachuk's a tougher opponent. So I'm very curious to see or hear what happened with Boachuk. But nevertheless, let's the fight doesn't seem to be on. I'm not really sure who to blame, but let's take a step back, right? Because this is something that's been marinating since 147, and let's just kind of like analyze it a bit, right? What does Boots do that you think will give Vergil trouble, and what does Vergil do that you think will give Boots trouble?
I think Boots is his skill set. I think Boots can move. He can fight in the back foot. He can fight in the front foot when necessary. I think his slick skill set would allow him to be able to, let me move around. And because Vergil is a come forward fighter, he's tailor-made for someone like Jaron Boots Ennis. And given his fight with Stanionis, of course, with the opponent that beat Rashidi Ellis, I always forget his name. Come forward fighters, Boots excel.
Yeah, Romain Villa.
Romain Villa, right. So I think with Boots, Vergil's somewhat tailor-made for Boots stylistically. However, I don't think Boots has ever faced a puncher in Vergil in none of the previous adversaries that he's fought thus far. And I think this is where it goes into what Vergil can do to kind of offset Boots. And it comes to, because I'm not sure how much bigger Boots is to Vergil. Vergil was a big 147 pounder to the point where his health was in jeopardy trying to make 147. So I'm
Mhm.
not sure how much bigger he is to Vergil, but I can say this for sure. In terms of punching power, they're probably comparable. And I would probably lean more towards Vergil. Virgil's body work is immaculate, right?
Mhm.
So, and he's gonna touch Jaron. So I feel
Yeah.
like the body punching ability is something that is very going to be very problematic for Jaron Ennis come that fight happening. But in terms of stylistically, I think clearly Boots is the better skilled fighter. He can punch, get out. He knows how to kind of impose his even though he gets touched, he knows who to get touched by and when,
Mhm.
if I'm being honest. So I think if he's fighting Vergil, he's going to be very defensively responsible. So
Yeah. The thing with Virgil though, right? Is, and obviously Boots can hit back. Is at some point, like you say, he's gonna get to you. He's gonna touch you, right? We seen, gosh, why am I forgetting his name now? Madrimov, right? So we saw versus Madrimov, we saw some of the movement get really excessive, but Virgil kept coming forward, kept touching him to the body, and eventually slowed him down, right? And then started really working Madrimov out and winning a pretty comfortable decision. So I agree. Boots knows who to get touched by, but I'm wondering, has he ever he I don't think he's ever seen this caliber of an opponent. And is this a situation where even though you're gonna try to not get touched, you're just gonna have to fight at some point in time, just with that style that Virgil has?
yeah, he's for sure gonna have because we've seen it with the Romain Villa fight. Romain Villa forced him to fight at point in time, but at that point, Jaron can crack too, so he
Yeah,
was able to offset the early rounds. Because that's the thing about people who can punch and has a high pace, high output. You know, in the first 4 rounds, they're probably the most formidable, most dangerous. And I think with Jaron Ennis, Boots specifically, he's going to look to, really be more defensively sound in
mhm,
those rounds, but also make them respect his punching power. Fight in the
yeah,
back, but to the point where when there's a lot less steam coming his way, then he's going to be willing to exchange and punch. Now, the question is, can Vergil take Jaron's punches?
yes.
That's really the question to really
It's
find
a
out. That's
big
a big
question.
factor because depending on whether or not Vergil can actually take his punches will really determine the outcome of the fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that because look what was happening with Boachuk. You know how Boachuk fights. Boachuk is shoulder to shoulder. Everything short, everything tight. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I can see Boots doing that, and it just depends. Like, obviously, he can get clipped too because Virgil can really punch, but I can see
Yeah.
Virgil touching the canvas as well. So that's what makes it such an interesting kind of fight. Um, and even though I really don't want to see this, but you know what people are gonna do? They're gonna say it's like if we got Errol and Terrence at this time, but I really don't want to see the comparisons. But I bring that up because sometimes I read the comment sections on videos, and that's kind of like a notion that I've been seeing. Oh, this is kind of like Errol and Terrence, and to me, these are really two different fighters. I understand the similarities, but they're different fighters than Errol and Terrence. You know what I mean? So I just kind of want this to be its own thing. But
Yeah.
but granted, I think they're two special guys. I really wanted to see at 147, but now I think it's going to be even better at 154 because I think they're more seasoned. I think they're
Yeah.
big guys, so they're going to be more well hydrated. Um, I don't want to talk about winners or anything yet. Very excited to see it. If Boots goes ahead and he's going to take this Usman Lima fight, right? Do you think Virgil needs a stay busy fight, or do you think try to wait for Boots?
Oh. If it's gonna happen, I mean, see, I don't know what's gonna happen next. If it happens early 2026, they can go right into the fight because Virgil just came off a fight earlier this year, and then of course Boots is about to have this fight. It just depends when they're looking to have the fight. If it's like later in 2026, then Virgil should probably go and take a fight early 2026.
Should he go off after Bakram?
Knowing Virgil, he probably would go with all the smoke. That's the thing about Virgil. He'd be with the smoke, even though he let his team handle, what they need to handle, but he is with the smoke. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
I could see him going into a fight with Brockman. And that's a dangerous fight. But of course, I got Virgil winning.
Okay, okay. And before we move off of this topic, do you favor either of those guys, Bert, Virgil, or Boots? I was trying to say Boots and Virgil at the same time, like Berts.
Berts, that's funny.
Do you
As we gonna call it, Showdown Berts.
do you
Um,
favor Boots or Virgil versus Fandora? Do you favor either of those guys versus Fandora just right now, present day?
Oh my God. Yo, Fundora is just so he is yo. I don't think people realize how dangerous that guy is. But I could see him definitely beating him, like beating him fairly easy.
Mhm.
But I think at their peak, I'm gonna go Vergil and Boots beating Fundora.
Okay,
I,
okay. I like that. I
I'm,
like
I'm,
that.
I'm, I'm, I'm,
Jump in the
I'm,
comment section, guys. Tell us what you think of the 154 division. Is Boots ducking Virgil? Is it just like miscommunication going on here? Is Eddie Hearn selling us wolf tickets? Like I don't think that's out of the question. You know what I mean? But tell us about the survey the landscape. Where do you think Bakram falls in this? Where do you think Fundora falls in this? And as well as Boots and Virgil. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. We'll be checking them out and replying to them.